You don't believe that is George Zimmerman yelling for help. What makes you say that?
That's correct. Well, I conducted a study in 1985 and many since that time about people when they scream. About 40% of all 911 calls contain screaming and distressed voices of one form or another. And so I'm asked constantly to help untangle these sort of 911 calls, both acoustically and otherwise. So I developed a system of using pitch transposition to be able to compare a regular voice against a higher frequency voice or a screaming voice.
When somebody screams, it's a far different voice than they use when they're talking.
That's correct. That's correct. But if you say the word help me, your articulation, whether you're screaming it or not, your articulation is very similar. And that's the way you move your mouth and your lips and your tongue and so forth and so on. And so as a result of that, that creates acoustical energy that can be relied upon. It makes you can use it as a spectrogram and measure it and make some measurements and compare it to something else. In my analysis, that's what I did. I started with Zimmerman saying, help me, I need your help from the reenactment. And then I transcoded it up a third, a fourth, a sixth, which is about the same frequency as the screams. And then I added the screams, and then I compared them all.
You didn't have Trayvon Martin's voice, which is why you're not saying it was Trayvon Martin's voice. You're simply saying, in your opinion, you don't believe it's George Zimmerman's voice.
That's correct. And that was misstated many times in my testimony by various people.
The judge, as you know, ruled that you won't be allowed to testify about this tape. She says that your methods, she says they're new, they're novel, they're not widely accepted. And she said, quote, there's no evidence to establish that their scientific techniques have been tested and found reliable.
Biometric analysis, likelihood ratio analysis, is over 10 years old. It's used by the NSA, the CIA, the Department of Defense, the entire country of Mexico, and 30 or 40 other countries and states. Just because she doesn't know about it doesn't mean that it's not reliable.
But it wasn't just the judge questioning the techniques. A senior FBI official testified that it was impossible to identify whose voice it's screaming, saying the recording's too short, it doesn't meet the standards to be evaluated.
Well, he said that there were, in his opinion, there were only 3 seconds of usable audio. There's actually 7 seconds and 10 words of usable audio.
The judge also said that you had testified that you had marketed and held a financial stake in the software program you used to evaluate the 911 call. Is that, in fact, the case?
To a certain extent, yes. I took a piece of software manufactured by a Russian company called Speech Technology Center and made it user-friendly, or Windows-friendly, I should say, myself and several other individuals, and we all share in if there's any profit, we all share in that.